Globally and in India, there's a lot of talk happening about the environment.
Yet, some aspects which are crucial to this conversation currently seem missing, like caste,
Class,
language,
gender,
Adivasis,
the youth.
and questions of environmental justice.
Not only are these themes missing, those who can represent these issues in possibly the most apt way are missing too.
And it's not because they don't have anything to say, it's because a lot of us are not listening.
So, in an attempt to alter this, we present to you Blind Spots.
It'll bring on this platform women and a few men from Dalit, OBC, Adivasi communities and countries of Global South.
I'm Arpitha Kodiveri, a postdoctoral researcher at NYU Law.
And I'm Vaishnavi Rathore, environment lead at the Bastion. And this is Blindspots.
World over, we have witnessed youth using law and international advocacy to bring to focus the burning climate issues. In this episode of Blind Spots, we discuss representativeness in the youth movement, various weapons used to fight against the changing climate, and the challenges that they face. We have with us Brazilian activist Paloma Costa Oliveira, Sriranjini Raman from Fridays for Future India, Archana Soreng, who's a member of the Youth Advisory Group for the UN Secretary General on Climate Change, and Abhijit Prabhudesai from the Goa-based Federation of Rainbow Warriors. Let's get into it. Apart from mobilizing and using the courts, the youth climate movement is also attempting to shape and change international climate conversations. Archana highlights this by sharing her experience as a member of the Youth Advisory Group to the UN Secretary General on Climate Change. It's an incredible story.
And being part of Yongo, when in 2020, it is an opportunity or an effort made by Secretary General to reach out to the youth groups or the youth communities, wherein he is wanting to hear the concerns and also the solution in terms of his climate strategy. And there we are playing a role wherein reaching out to young people, bringing their voice to Secretary General and also sharing the solutions and concerns to the Secretary General, wherein I feel that this has given me an opportunity to share what is happening in Asia, what is happening with the indigenous communities across, because this 7 members is a very diverse member. Everyone is coming from a very different background. Like we have a friend from background of lawyer, we have a friend from economics, political science, advocacy, research. So this again brings together that young people are doing a lot of work in a lot of field.
Bringing the focus back to India, Abhijit highlights how the youth movement developed in Goa in the case of Save Mole campaign.
Immense amounts of work, time and energy has been put in by a number of young people who have led the Save Mole movement. And the movement has, like any other movement, required a lot of awareness work to be done, activities to be carried out, which they have done brilliantly. First of all, to make the other youth across Goa aware and to get involved in making the Save Mole a mass movement, which it did become, because thousands of young people wrote to the Prime Minister and to everybody and did all these tweet storms and all kinds of awareness programs, which were really icing on our cake. They have also done a lot of research work in terms of the ecological, biodiversity and environmental aspects, and also the socio-economic aspects. And that research work has been so useful for the people who are taking this further, like the lawyers, like Goa Foundation, and when they have petitioned the CEC, some of that research work has been right up there, along with all other kinds of legal arguments. And so that has been a very critical part of the struggle. They have fought within the law. They have fought on the ground, using their constitutional and first of all understanding their constitutional rights to protest, and then using them in a very effective manner.
Despite the 2015 Paris Agreement that stated the need for countries to invest more in reducing carbon emissions, Brazil's first nationally determined contribution, or NDCs, allowed for more carbon levels than previously intended. This did not go unnoticed by Paloma and her colleagues, who then filed a lawsuit against the Brazilian government. Paloma tells us a bit about this lawsuit.
We filed a demand last year, in the end of last year, processing the government for him to follow the main compromises that Brazil gave in his NDCs. Here in Brazil, when we think about deforestation is the main cause of carbon emissions here. And if Brazil keeps deforesting, keeps burning our forests that are holding up the climate for the world, we're not only going to not follow what we agreed, what we promised in our NDCs to the Brazilians and to the world, but we are going to put the world into seriously trouble. But I feel like what we learned more, what we gained more with bringing these actions to the court, it was the fact that we make a lot of youth to raise and to see that we have this possibility. We can take and demand our government legally.
But not all of this mobilization is easy. From arrests to websites being taken down, the youth have had various challenges thrown their way. So how have they been coping with it?
There was so much fear and sort of me, my parents forced me to quit the movement for my safety and stuff like that, and I had to reach a point and explain to them about why I can't and how it'll be okay.
This entire journey has made me realize that people are willing to listen to you,
Right.
but are we ready to speak up? This is something which I have felt very deeply, and this also makes me feel that even if a person is willing to speak, is the person safe to speak up?
So it's not an easy task for any young person to challenge or to question the existing system or to put forth their basic needs, even for a young person to ask that, hey, can I have a better world tomorrow? It's very clear that they would be put under all kinds of pressures, even if they ask for something as simple as that. And, so in these kind of circumstances, yes, the youth do find it difficult, but the fact remains that, jo dar gaya, wo mar gaya. So, this is very simply put fact of life, and it's amazing to see some young people overcome these fears and come out and boldly question things which are going wrong.
When I first joined the movement, I thought we'll achieve climate, the government will declare climate emergency in 6 months, and every single person I talk to is gonna get convinced about why we have to declare a climate emergency and why is it so hard to believe? Come on, man, sort of, a very idealistic sort of thing. And then slowly I realized that we're running a marathon and we're not running a race.
Since we started really gathering as a youth movement, not only in our nations but across the globe, we started learning so much about empathy, about diversity, about inclusion, about taking care of each other, health, mental health, and things like this. If I have some hope, I put this hope in all of this that we are building together, and for us to be able to achieve much more impact than we are able right now.
Despite the difficulties, the youth have continued to fight for a better, greener world with a relentless dose of hope. And what better way to end the podcast than to hear what their ideal world looks like, a world that they are all working towards.
My dream idealistic version of FFF would be where it's only 50% oppressor caste people and 50% people from basically right now it's the ratios are very skewed. Really working towards dismantling these systems of oppression within the movement and making it more accessible, because we'll get better like, or we can truly make an impact only if we make those changes too.
And my message to all the audience and the young people, those who are hearing us, is that first, I believe it's embrace our roots and identities, because we are because of our roots and identities, and that is what makes us unique in terms of our perspectives and our contribution to the society and to this space. And the second thing, I feel to speak up, because our voice matters and our perspective matters.
Our hopes are on the shoulders of our youth. I mean, the fact remains that my generation is, to be very honest, is responsible for the mess that we are in. It's only the youth who can bring about a change to actually turn around our civilization, our economic systems, our concerns for the environment and for the society. So it's only the youth who have a fresh mind, who have a fresh approach, and really it's their future too. So we all of us here at Rainbow Warriors are totally dedicated to getting the youth involved in these activities, in these really in the struggle to save the world, actually,